London in the 1600s was already one of the largest cities in Europe, a place of noise, movement, and contradiction. By this time, its population was approaching 500,000 people, an extraordinary number for the early modern world. Streets were narrow, buildings crowded together, and life unfolded at an intense pace. This was a city shaped by trade, ambition, and survival. Constantly fed by the River Thames, barges, boats, and ships moved endlessly along its waters, carrying goods, people, and ideas. In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic paintings and engravings to life, not just restoring, and experience these scenes in ways their original artists never could them. But, before exploring the wider city, I want to focus on a structure I hadn't fully understood before starting this research, allowing us to move within them. 36. To shift perspective, change camera angles. What we now call Old London Bridge. By the 1600s, this bridge was far more than a simple crossing. It was a living, breathing street, suspended above the River Thames. A dense ribbon of houses, shops, warehouses, chapels, and gatehouses connecting the city of London to Southwark. From a distance, it barely resembled a bridge, at all appearing instead as a continuous neighborhood stretching across the water. The bridge rested on a series of narrow stone arches, supported by creating powerful currents and dangerous surges of water-river traffic attempting to pass through. The arches faced constant massive piers. These piers constricted the tidal flow of the Thames beneath them, and accidents were common. Yet above this chaos, daily life continued uninterrupted. The buildings on the bridge rose several stories high, often projecting outward over the roadway, blocking light and trapping smoke and smells below. Residents lived directly above the constant movement of carts, horses, and pedestrians. Fire was a constant danger. Congestion was unavoidable too. Sanitation was poor, and yet people lived and worked imaginable here for generations, forming communities in one of the most precarious. Barges, ferries, merchant vessels, and smaller rivercraft crowded the water locations, carrying grain, timber, coal, cloth, and imported goods from across Europe. And the river connected London to England's interior. Beyond, beneath the bridge, the Thames functioned as London's primary highway to the continent and to the wider Atlantic world, making this bridge a point where local life and global trade intersected. In severe winters, the restricted flow beneath the arches could even contribute to the river freezing. During these rare moments, the Thames transformed entirely, a striking contrast to the danger the river usually represented. People walked, gathered, and by the mid-18th century, the bridge had deteriorated so badly, approached through the area beside St. Magnus the Martyr's Church, visible to the left, that officials decided it could no longer continue in this form. Between 1756 and 1762, although this painting dates from the 1700 buildings that had crowded Old London Bridge for centuries, were gradually demolished. It depicts a crossing that had already shaped London for hundreds of years. Remarkably, this is a site you can still visit today. What makes Old London Bridge remarkable is not only its engineering, but its endurance as lived space. It functions simultaneously as infrastructure, marketplace, neighborhood, and symbol. Kings and commoners crossed it. Traders and laborers worked upon it. And newcomers arriving in London often encountered the city for the first time here. The bridge was crowded, dark, and unsanitary. It slowed traffic, Yet for centuries, it remained indispensable bottleneck to trade and posed constant risks to those who lived and worked upon it. Until the 18th century, it was the only permanent crossing of the Thames in central London, making it unavoidable for anyone moving north or south across the city. Sometimes, I wish I could step back and experience this place as it once was, even if only for a single day. For now, this AI reconstruction is as close as I can come to that dream. The second view looks across the Thames near Tower Wharf on the evening of September 4. London appears as a continuous wall of fire. To the left stands London Bridge, Ketio. To the right, the Tower of London narrowly escapes Destron. Old St. Paul's burns at the heart of the skyline. In just a few clearing centuries of dense construction days, much of medieval London was reduced to ash. Yet, the fire marked a turning point, forcing the city to rebuild, reshape, and begin again. Rising above the Thames, the Tower of London in the 1600s. By this time, it served as fortress, arsenal, treasury, and one of the most notorious prisons in England. High-profile prisoners accused of treason were held within its walls. This scene shows Cheapside in 1638, one of London's most important ceremonial streets. During the procession of Marie de Medici, soldiers, officials, and crowds filled the street, while beneath the spectacle, political and religious tensions simmered crown jewels themselves. The tower also safeguarded royal records. Parliament, monarchy, and church stood uneasily side by side. The Thames carried politicians, messengers, and citizens' weapons. This image shows Westminster in 1647, a city and a nation deeply divided directly to the doorstep of power. Whitehall appears here in 1643, then the largest royal residence in England. A sprawling complex where the business of government unfolded. Today, only the banqueting house survives. This is Richmond Palace, once a favored retreat for Tudor and early Stuart monarchs. It was here that Elizabeth I died in 1639, too, marking the end of an era. Standing here, looking back at these moments, it's hard not to feel how close the past really is. These streets, buildings, and events shaped the world we live in. And through these reconstructions, we glimpse what it meant to be there 9 in. You'd like to see brought back to life. Let me know. I'd love to continue this journey into the past with you on the ice below the bridge. This view shows the northern entrance to the bridge,